Hello everyone, Bhavna Gunwani this side. Today in this session I am going to talk about do-while loop. Basically, do-while loop is the loop which will execute at least once irrespective of the test condition. Whether the condition is true or not, the loop body has to execute at least one. And at the most as many times the condition evaluates to true. That's what the user wants to understand. Useful when you are sure about one-time execution and further execution depends upon the specified condition. As I discussed one of the example in while loop, until user does not enter quits, I just want to keep continuing the body of the loop to be executed. One more iteration, there are so many examples like banking application. If you have done with one transaction, it will ask, do you wish to continue with another transaction? If you will say yes, then the body of loop will execute, otherwise not. This is how the flowchart works. The code block gets executed without checking the condition. Second time onwards, it will check the condition. If the condition is true, then the block will execute, otherwise it will get out of the loop. So that's what we say, it always execute at least one time, second time onwards based upon the condition. Let's understand with an example. First of all, I would like to print hello world 5 times. I'm going to initialize a variable with 1. Without checking any condition, I'll come inside the loop and print hello world and the value of I. Next time it will increase the value of I with ++. Before getting out of the loop, we'll check the condition. Until I is less than or equals to 5, the loop will start with the second execution, otherwise not. So you can check that initialization happened. That's you all know. Initialization of the iteration variable. This is the body of loop which is getting executed. This is how increment and decrement happens. And that's the condition. So you can see that before checking up any condition, the loop gets started, the body gets executed, I gets ++. Here it's checking for when I is 2, 2 is less than or equals to 5 or not. So obviously this is going to execute 5 times, output is same. But imagine if my I is not less than or equals to 5, by mistake or intentionally I kept it 100. So you can see that even though I is 100, at least loop gets execute once. Second time onwards it will be 101 after I ++. So 101 is not less than equals to 5. The loop will not execute. That's how the do while is not suitable for the iteration when you have a fixed number of iterations to be executed. Let me help you with the same example that we discussed in the while loop when we depends upon the user choice. So we're going to start with do, declaring a variable string input. We'll take the input from the user, enter input, scanner, new scanner, post that would like to take this input from the user, scanner.next. As I discussed, we're going to check for the quit statement. So each input will be converted into lowercase, so that after printing the body, I can check from the user what user has entered. If user has entered the input and the input is not equals to quit, till that number of times the loop has to execute. So every time the user enters, it checks whether it is quit or not. If it is not quit, then the loop will execute. If it is quit, then loop will terminate. So you can see that without checking any condition, at least once the loop body is getting executed. Let me help you out with. In between, I can just put a separator. So you can see that it is asking for the input. Let me just terminate the terminals and start the new one. Enter the input. Input is 10. Okay. Input is hello. Input is user. The moment I write quit, whether in uppercase or lowercase, will convert this into the lowercase, and then it is quitting the do while loop. I hope the differentiation is clear between for loop, do while loop and while loop. Basically, for loop is for fixed number of iteration. While loop and do while is for variable kind of loop when the number of iterations are not fixed. Rest, every syntax works for all the suitable condition. In whichever syntax you are where comfortable, you can go with that. Until next time, stay tuned. Thank you.